What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a great day, and today I would like to talk about why I think Halloween H20 is actually better than Halloween 2018. It's funny because I've been seeing this debate taking place more today than I did back when Halloween 2018 initially came out. Now, you guys know how I feel about the sequels. They're pretty much all bad. I don't mind to watch them during October to get me in the Halloween spirit, but I know that they're not good at all and they're very unnecessary. But H2O is probably and possibly the one exception as far as sequels that involve Michael Myers, because Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is actually, in my opinion, it's a pretty good movie. But when 2018 was first announced, Halloween 2018 was first announced, they stated that Jamie Lee Curtis was returning to play Laurie Strode, as well as they were going to erase all of the sequels from the continuity, and I was on board with this. This was good news to me. I was stoked to hear this. Then, when some of the pictures of the mask were released, I thought to myself that this has to be the best mask, not since Halloween 2, but the best mask since the 78 classic. So I was really stoked, even though I still felt that the 78 film never needed a sequel and never lent itself to a sequel. But I went to the theater opening night on October 19th, 2018. Me, my brother, my dad, we sit down in the theater. I watched the movie and I left the theater very underwhelmed. And I honestly felt like I was lied to, being told that they were going to go back to the John Carpenter classic stylistically. They're going to be back to that film stylistically. They're going to be carrying over that stylistic continuity, that haunting atmosphere of the first film. But we were all told that in 2018. We were all told that in this 2018 movie we were going to go back to what the 78 film was all about, and that this movie was best compared to the original. And when you watch it, that's not the case. But the Halloween fanboys will all tell you that they had to put their own spin on it. And their own spin on it was to make it exactly like all of the other sequels. And that's fine that they put their own spin on it. But then if you're going to do that, then don't ask me to compare it to the 78 film, because I'm damn well going to do that. And that's what they did. I also really don't like I don't like how they wrote this version of Laurie Strode, and my disdain for this carries into Halloween Kills and probably will carry into Halloween Ends as well. But now I have no issue at all with how Jamie Lee Curtis's performance was. I thought that she was terrific in the Halloween 2018 movie, and she is a great actress overall. But they really wrote her character to be this doomsday prepper slash survivalist, and I don't quite get why they chose to go this direction. This would have worked if Michael had gotten up and just disappeared into the night like he did in the original and was just never to be seen again. And instead, they had him arrested, as shown in uh, the flashback of 78 in Halloween Kills. Mistake. Should never have done that. But if Michael had just got up and walked into the ether and nobody saw him or heard from him again in 40 years, this would have made Laurie's survivalist demeanor more believable, because Michael would have still been on the loose. So they really shot themselves in the foot here. But now let me get into H2O. And I do want to start, though, because I'm supposed to be talking about why I think H2O is a better film. I'm going to start out with my biggest condemnation for H2O, and that is that H2O actually does connect to Halloween 2 from 1981. I don't think that ruins H2O, but I would have liked it more if they had only connected it to Halloween 1. But it's honestly whatever, because H2O still manages to make it work and not make the brother sister angle feel forced, even though Halloween 2 made the mistake of just shoehorning that into the script. And they practically just shoehorned, and this was because John Carpenter had writer's block, and he came up with this idea while he was eating a pizza and drinking a 6-pack of beer. So there's not really an excuse for that, but I know that John Carpenter knows that he messed up. But H2O to me does get a lot right too. The story in H2O, while being paper thin in Halloween 2018, is actually a lot stronger in H2O because you see Laurie actually dealing with the trauma from the events of Halloween Night 78, which where she always sees Michael in the corner of her eyes and in the reflection in a restaurant window. You don't get this with 2018. You see Laurie cry a few times and start chugging a glass of wine when they meet up for the dinner at the restaurant. And that's all you really get, other than her just running around acting irrational and crazy and shooting people dressed up as Michael Myers, even though it was Michael Myers, shooting people with guns. Now, you may say that that's all we really need to see, and you know, we don't need to be beaten over the head with it, and fine. But it adds more layers and helps the story of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode work on a deeper level. And H2O to me just did it better. Where we really see her dealing with it by, drinking. She's struggling with alcoholism and having nightmares and seeing Michael everywhere she looks. H2O just does this better to me. And even if H2O to me feels more personal. And Halloween 2018 just feels like manufactured garbage, just something to shovel out. H2O feels like a person. It feels personal, and it feels intimate, and I like that. And even though I'm not crazy on the brother sister angle, it makes more sense for Michael to go up against Laurie and H2O because of the familial connection. Whereas in 2018, it absolutely makes zero sense. And what else H2O does better is that this film is written for Laurie Strode to be able to mentally function to some degree by having her pack up her shit and leave Haddonfield. Move all the way to the other side of the country to escape this knife-wielding maniac. I believe that Laurie would have done that even if in H2O, if Halloween 1 would have been the only canon movie. So just the events of the 1978 movie happened. I still believe that Laurie would have just packed her stuff and left. But Halloween 2 is canon in the H2O timeline. So, but you get what I'm saying. If Halloween 1 had been canon, this is how I still would have expected Laurie to act, not become a doomsday prepper. She would have left town, had a child, and tried to get her life back on track. And that's what she tries to do in H2O. But in 2018, she has an entire house built specifically to be a trap in the rare event that Michael Myers would escape Smith's Grove on Halloween exactly 40 years after the events of 78. Yeah, right, sure. So H2O to me is the stronger film from a storyline perspective. And characters, 2018 just has flat characters to me, minus Allison, who I thought had potential until it was shit on in Halloween Kills, but of course I can't really fully give 100% judgment on that until I see what they do in Halloween Ends. But everyone else in this movie is just bland. H2O, the character of John, is better than any character. John played by Josh Hartnett. That was before Josh Hartnett got big, but he's better than any character in 2018 to me. Much better than Karen in terms of children that Laurie has had over the span of these numerous universes. But even the characters, like his girlfriend played by Michelle Williams, and their friends played by the Jumanji Kid, and his girlfriend who was in She's All That, they were infinitely more interesting and likable. Because the script in H2O was written so much better because of their dialogue and how it was written to make them feel like real kids, real teenagers having real conversations. In 2018, I didn't feel that way because the script was so poorly written that when these characters go to talk to each other, it's just so stiff, and they use this dialect of I don't know. Like, okay, for example, Allison calls her grandma her granny. I don't know. Like, she calls her grandmother, and I don't know many people that refer to their grandparents as grandmother. Like, I would not call my mother, "Mother, where are you? Father, do you need me to haul the trash to the dump?" People don't talk that way. It they write the script, it just feels so It's just when I watch these new Halloween films, I just sit there and I think people don't talk that way in real life. You know, we don't call our grandparents mother. We don't talk in such a Shakespearean dialect. You know, I guess that's the way I can put it. And it's even worse in Halloween Kills than it is in 2018. It's like these guys just don't know how to write dialogue that feels organic and feels real. Feels like real people talking to each other. And I felt that when Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams talk to each other in H2O, they it feels real. It when their friends talk to each other, or when Lori and her boyfriend spoke to each other. When Lori and her boyfriend spoke to each other, they felt like a real middle-aged couple dating. It just H2O felt more real to me. And so did the original film. Even some of the other, as far as script writing, Halloween 4, 5, and 6 feel more like real people talking than 2018. Even Resurrection. But the fact, from what I researched, from the research that I've done, and it's actually not even research or speculation or anything, it's fact because this was said on an interview. The people that wrote the script for 2018 went through like 85, 90 drafts. And that's the best dialogue that they could throw together. And personally, if I were in control and had hired these guys to write a script and they wrote 90 drafts, I would probably acknowledge a problem, and I'd probably just if I personally had read the final draft after the 90th time, I would have just told them that, just start. You might as well just start packing up all your stuff, and the exit's down the hallway on the right. It's what I would have done personally. But even in the Halloween Ends trailer, I've seen the trailer. I'm not doing a video on it, but when Laurie says, "Come and get me, motherfucker," I cringe so hard, and it just almost feels like we're not with this new trilogy, not even just 2018 and Kills, but with Ends too. It just feels like we're not going to escape that horrible script writing. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Ends can correct it. And what about the Shape himself? Well, I have grown to like the H2O Michael a lot more than the 2018 Michael. And even the mask. I mean, just the main mask that you see him wear throughout most of the H2O movie, I actually think that's a good mask. I don't like they used a couple other masks in H2O, and the CGI mask and that one that has a really big forehead that makes Michael look like George Costanza. I don't like those masks. But the main mask, the main one in H2O that we see pretty frequently throughout the movie, I think it's actually a good mask. It's just the only issue I have with it is that you do see too much of his eyes. And it's funny, in H2O, his eye is fully functional, the one that he had poked out with a coat hanger. It's fully functional. So I could give the upper hand to 2018 here in regards to the mask and as well as the continuity that they carried over from the original film involving his eye. But H2O's Michael acted more like the 78 Myers because Michael actually stalks in this movie, where he stalks LL Cool J, and as well as he stalks Michelle Williams' character in the classroom, where the 2018 film had no stalking or haunting. It didn't feel like Michael Myers to me, but H2O felt closer to the Shape in 78 than 2018 did to me personally. So, if I were to give a letter grade to both films, I would give Halloween H2O a C+, where I would give Halloween 2018 a D. And H2O, while not a perfect movie, it is a more watchable sequel than most of the Myers sequels in the franchise in terms of actual quality filmmaking. So I'm sure I'll have the living hell hazed out of me by the fanboys, and that's fine. And, I mean, I already am seeing the hype for Ends being built up to unrealistic expectations. And a lot of it is orchestrated by people involved with the film, telling you how to feel, that you are going to be angry, that you guys are going to be emotional. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you guys something else to go with this video. I'm gonna give you guys a shit-flinging rant. So as well as the big Halloween YouTubers, whom some, like Dave McRae, I actually like Dave McRae, and I'm not talking about him. But these other ones that I see with with the cute, you know, the ones I'm talking about, with the cute thumbnail of them smiling in the picture, or they got both their hands on their cheeks with their mouth wide open. You got the Michael Myers mask in the damned corner with a video titled "Things You Didn't Notice in Halloween Ends Trailer," or "You missed this, you missed these Easter eggs," or "Is that actually Michael Myers, or is that Corey guy?" Or just them making multiple videos a day speculating on who this Corey guy is, or is Michael actually dead within the first 20 damned minutes of the movie, or is Michael Myers going to speak? And I'm just, you know what? I'm not having any of this shit. And I won't be brainwashed into jumping onto this bandwagon. They can continue to proselytize all of these fucking Halloween fanboys, and that's fine. And by all means, continue to not think for yourself, fanboys. I've just gotten so sick of these fucking Halloween fanboys, and I'm done pretending like this stupid trilogy is a masterpiece, and I'm done pretending that they sit on the same shelf as the damn Empire Strikes Back. I'm sick of ostracizing those that don't feel the same way as I do, and I'm speaking from the perspective of freaking Halloween fanboys. I'm sick to death of the blind fanboyism, freaking pretending that these dipshits like Danny McBride know what the hell they're doing when they clearly have zero idea. I can't even talk. Zero idea on how to stay truthful and faithful to the original. And you know what? I'm sorry for the freaking rant, and I'm sorry to those that like this trilogy. You are more than entitled to your opinion, but I won't apologize for being angry with these stupid fanboys that constantly attack me over the most minute and trivial shit over a movie franchise. But for real, you fanboys, you've become worse than the Star Wars fanboys. Not even you fanboys, you cultists.